Welcome to the Academy, a series focused on the basics of Star Wars: The Old Republic. Earning credits in Star Wars: The Old Republic isn't as difficult as it might seem. In this video, we'll be going over how to earn credits through Conquest, Flashpoints, Heroics, Gathering, Crafting, and the GTN. If you're on a low-level character, one important thing to know is that all quests in-game reward you with less credits the lower your level is. If you're looking to save up for something expensive, you'll first want to level up as high as possible. If you're on a free-to-play account, that'll be level 60, and for recent subscribers, that'll be level 75. Quest rewards scale with level, and most of your credits will be earned once you hit max level. You shouldn't be worrying too much about earning credits until you have at least one character leveled all the way. Don't forget, if you're preferred or free-to-play, your credits will be capped at 1 million credits, and any additional ones you earn go into an escrow until after you subscribe again, so make sure to deposit all your credits into your legacy bank before that point so they don't go into escrow. As you level, make sure to pick up and sell any items you don't need. You'll receive gray bordered items. These are specifically meant to be sold for credits, and you can easily sell them to vendors that have the yellow and green box icon over their head by clicking Sell Junk. If you get lucky and pick up any blue bordered or purple bordered items that don't say bound or bound to legacy when you roll over them in your inventory, you can often sell them on the GTN to other players for more credits than NPC vendors will buy them for. Don't forget, you can also sell any low-level bound gear that you don't need anymore to vendors for extra credits. While you're leveling, you can also pick up the Gathering crew skills from the fleet. Slicing, scavenging, archaeology, and bioanalysis all let you pick up materials off the ground to sell for pure profit on the GTN. Now let's start going over some of the methods to make the big credits. Number 1. Conquest. Conquesting is an extremely easy way to earn credits and valuable crafting materials just by playing the game. Every week, you'll have a personal Conquest point goal to meet, and you can get Conquest points by doing the objectives listed on the Conquest panel, which is a tab at the top of the normal missions panel. Conquests reset weekly, so you have a limited time to meet your personal goal and earn the rewards each week. If you participate solo and meet your personal Conquest goals each week, you get 38,000 credits right off the bat, 100,000 credits in the form of a credit certificate you can sell to a vendor, 4 solid resource matrices that sell for a lot on the GTN, 3 crafting decorations which can also be sold on the GTN, and a box of gear and tech fragments. If you participate with your guild and your guild reaches their guild goal on a large yield planet, you also get 31,000 more credits, 150,000 credit certificate, 4 more strategic resource matrices, and a flagship encryption of your choice. The encryptions can be used to unlock more rooms in a guild's flagship, so you could either donate this one to your guild or sell it for a couple 100,000 credits on the GTN. Even if just participating solo, you'll be getting an easy 100,000 credits and the rare crafting materials, and if you conquest with a guild, you get double or more rewards as a bonus. Low-level players get slightly different rewards, but Conquest is still a great way to earn credits, especially if you're in a guild. So here's my super easy list of Conquest objectives for level 75 players. Then you can run Heroics, PvP, Flashpoints, or any other type of quest to reach your weekly goal. Low-level characters may have similar objectives available depending on their level, plus a few more easy ones like taking a taxi or assigning a utility point. Number 1, run any 5 crew skill missions, send your companions out to gather. Number 2, level up a crew skill. Works really well with that first one. Number 3, send your companion out to sell items once per day. Right-click their portrait and choose Sell Trash. Number 4, give a gift to your companion. Just keep a little stack of inexpensive gifts in your legacy bay for easy access. Number 5, raise a companion's influence level. Just give them gifts, which are conveniently also an objective. Number 6, place 5 decorations in your stronghold. And number 7, recalibrate an amplifier. You can even do it on a cheap piece of gear from the adaptive vendor in the supply section of the fleet. If you're playing regularly, you should reach your Conquest objective without even trying on your frequently played characters. You can then hop around and complete your personal goal on multiple characters to earn the weekly reward on each character. Most objectives are daily repeatable, with a yellow triangle beside them, so if you only have 1 day per week to play, you might try and gain your Conquest points with harder objectives on your main character, then use the easy ones we talked about earlier on your less played character. If you plan on playing every day, You can hop on a different character every day of the week and complete those easy objectives on each of your characters for minimal work. Some players will even complete Conquest on 10 to 20 characters per week. If you want to learn more about Conquest, I've got a video called What is Conquest in SWTOR as well. Number 2. Flashpoints. Running Master Mode Flashpoints solo while in stealth can be an extremely fast way to earn credits for players who are at item rating 306 gear. Your stealth character will allow you to skip past a large majority or even all of the smaller enemies in the Flashpoint, and you'll just fight the bosses, which drop gear and bundles of crafting materials. Running a Flashpoint with 3 bosses will get you approximately 20 pieces of gold-bordered gear, a pile of tech fragments, and 30 processed isotope stabilizers, which you can sell on the GTN for credits. The big money comes from reverse engineering the yellow bordered gear that drops from the Flashpoint. While we don't have exact numbers, for roughly every Flashpoint run you do, you'll get 1 yellow bordered legendary ember material from reverse engineering, which is the most expensive level 75 crafting material currently available in the game. On top of that, you'll also get a pile of Jawa Junk from reverse engineering that you can turn in for crafting materials to sell. The most common Flashpoints to stealth through are Master Mode Red Reaper and Hammer Station. Inexperienced players will have a rough time soloing the bosses, but even a very bad team of 2 stealthers can take them on easily once they understand the mechanics. The big thing to know is that if you want to make credits, you should go in with full 306 gear. Otherwise, lower tier gear will drop that won't reverse engineer to give you those rare legendary embers. However, both these Flashpoints are also great to run gear if you aren't 306 yet, as they drop so much gear. So here's a quick example of all the gear you get from a single run, and here's what we got from reverse engineering that. Didn't get lucky for that legendary ember, did get a ton of that Jawa scrap. There's also a weekly available for completing any 3 Master Mode Flashpoints that gives you 3 really good gear crates that will be filled with 3 to 5 pieces of gold gear each, plus a ton of tech fragments. Pick this up in the supplies section of the fleet before you start. You do not need to complete this through the group finder to get the weekly. You can solo it if you want to. While your run time will vary a lot depending on how well you know the Flashpoint and how fast you can complete the boss fights, I've seen players report that they can run Red Reaper in about 10 to 15 minutes on a solo stealth character, and Hammer Station as low as about 5 minutes with a group of 2 stealthers. If you can get in at least 4 Red Reaper stealth runs per hour, and got 4 legendary embers between the reverse engineered boss gear and the weekly gear, on my server's GTN, you'd be looking at about 4 million credits per hour worth of materials from the legendary embers and processed isotope stabilizers dropped from the bosses. This doesn't even include the extra credits you can get from your tech fragments, which we'll talk about later. Stealthing Master Mode Flashpoints for materials is by far the best way to make credits if you have an item rating 306 stealth character, especially if you can do it quickly. Number 3, the Swoop Event. If you're looking for something a little easier, the Swoop Event is a limited time racing event. While the event is running, it's by far the most lucrative event in the entire game. You can very easily earn 700,000 credits in 20 to 30 minutes on a level 75 character. Pick up the daily quests, pick up the weekly quests, and while running the races, complete the bonus time quest and bonus objectives quest for a large pile of extra credits for each of the 9 courses. You can then go and run the 9 races again on a 2nd and 3rd character for another pile of credits for about 2 million credits per hour. Number 4, Heroics. A very easy way to earn credits is to do Heroics. Heroics are repeatable daily quests which are meant to be done in groups of 2 or more, but can often be completed solo by experienced players. Heroics tend to be a lot shorter than running more involved quests like Flashpoints or Operations, and players who run them regularly can complete them fairly quickly. Heroics also now have a free teleport, which means you can get to them very quickly without wasting time on travel. At level 61 or higher, Heroics start granting locked supply crates. These can be turned into a Destin after you have completed Chapter 9 of Knights of the Fallen Empire on your character, and grant extra credits and extra items that can be sold to vendors and very valuable golden bordered gifts that can be sold on the GTN for a lot of credits. Don't forget, you also get credits from a quest on your Odescent base when you increase your Alliance Commander's influence level. When running heroics, you can choose to either run them all, or choose to try and run them efficiently, either by only running the faster ones or by running the ones that are good for stealthing through quickly. If you decide to run all 70 of the basic heroics and their bonus quests, you'd earn about 3 million credits guaranteed from the quests, plus an extra 2 million credits from selling the gold gifts on the GTN to other players. While researching, we took a team of 4 level 75 players through all the heroics, and with a team that didn't always know where they were going, it took us a total of 6.5 hours, which we could probably shave down a lot by the second time we ran it, for about 800,000 credits per hour. Some heroics are ridiculously quick, especially on the first 2 planets, while others take up way too much time to be worth it. Running heroics alone, but picking which ones to run efficiently, will earn you only slightly less per hour than doing them indiscriminately with a full group. I've put together a short list of efficient heroics you can run very quickly in a link in the description of this video. On top of that, if you have a stealth character, you can run the heroics even faster by skipping as many enemies as possible by stealthing past them, or putting them to sleep while you click on an objective beside them. If you're looking for an extremely quick and very simple way to earn a bundle of credits, the daily planet CZ198 can be completed in 10 to 15 minutes and gives you a cool 100,000 credits. It's a bit less profitable than heroics, but you don't have to carefully pick and choose which quests to do. Just fly to the planet, pick up all the quests, complete them, and quick travel back to the terminal to get your credits. While the other dailies and reputation tracks offer cool rewards, none of them will be making this list for their ability to earn you credits. Number 5. Jawa Junk. If you're level 75, any of the activities we just talked about, including Conquest, Flashpoints, Heroics, PvP, or almost any other activity in the game, will eventually get you endgame gear. If you're still working on your gear, you'll compare your new gear that you picked up to what you have. Equip any that have a higher gear score or better for your stat distribution, then disintegrate the rest. When you disassemble this gear, you'll gain a special type of item currency called Jawa Junk that you can turn in for materials. To spend your Jawa Junk, go to the Cartel Bazaar, which is the northern elevator on the Republic fleet, and the southern elevator on the Imperial fleet, and look for the Jawa vendors, where you can spend your green, blue, and purple Jawa Junk on crafting materials. You'd then sell these crafting materials on the GTN for extra money, or use them to craft and sell the crafted items. Some items that players often buy to resell for a good value are the green items that only cost 1 Jawa scrap, including Desh, Silica, Dielectric Cell Fiber, Green Goo, Lost Artifact Fragments, Rubat Crystals, and Sacred Artifact Fragments, which are used in large quantities by competitive guilds to craft for Conquest. For the purple and blue items, you'll want to compare prices a little more, but I'd check the ones that only cost 1 as well. A few other purple items to compare include the Strategic Resource Matrix, and the 2 gifts hiding in there, which are the Armor Maintenance and Spiced Eric Tongue items. If you need to compare, I've made a Google Docs spreadsheet you can make a copy of to help you compare prices. I've linked that in the description of this video. Number 6. Tech Fragments. When you disassemble level 75 armor, you will also get tech fragments. While you're still gearing your characters up, you'll probably want to save these tech fragments, as you can spend them on set bonus gear, which is some of the best gear in the entire game. But once your characters are all geared up, you can start turning those tech fragments into credits. The idea is to use your tech fragments to buy gold bordered gear, disassemble it, and then hope you get lucky and receive a legendary ember. And even if you strike out, you'll get a small pile of Jawa Junk you can trade for crafting materials. The cheapest option seems to be buying random mods for 175 tech fragments, then disassembling those. You can buy these random items from a vendor in the supply section of the fleet. Imperial side, her name is Takana, and Republic side, I think his name is something like Nitu. The randomized gear you get is based on your current gear score, so make sure you're wearing a full set of 306 when you go to buy it. Number 7. Gathering crafting materials. If you have slicing, scavenging, archaeology, or bioanalysis as crew skills, you can gather materials in the world to sell to other players who will use them for crafting. While you're running around gathering materials, don't forget you can also send your companions out on missions to gather materials too. If you don't like having to sell your materials on the GTN, slicing will reward you with pure credits most of the time. One important thing to know is that when you gain crafting materials, they do not go into your inventory. Instead, most materials automatically go into your materials bay without even giving you a notification, which is accessible in your inventory from a tiny symbol of a diamond on the left. To remove materials from your legacy-wide materials bay, for example to sell them, just right-click them and they'll go into your inventory. To sell your materials, go to the GTN located in the Galactic Trade Market section of the fleet and click in the typing box under Name. Then Shift left-click the material in your inventory. This will put the name in the GTN so you don't have to type it in so you can look it up easily. Then click Unit Price to sort by price until the lowest price is showing. If you're just starting to sell, an easy way to price your goods is to price them for slightly less than the current lowest price. Make sure to set the price for your entire bundle. So if you want your unit price for your crafting material to be 1,000 credits, and you have 17 of them, price the whole thing for 17,000 credits and set the duration to 3 days. What materials are most lucrative to gather will shift over time, and as you start pricing your materials on the GTN, you'll start learning the market. You'll also start learning what prices are low or high for the materials you have, so you can gauge when you hold on to materials if the price is too low instead of selling them as cheap as possible. Experienced players will also buy out the stock of a player who is pricing their goods too low and resell them at a higher price. If you're looking to gather materials on the ground, Grade 8 materials are on Yavin 4, Grade 9 materials are in the Zakul Swamp, Zakul Breakdown, and Darvanis from Chapter 14 of Knights of the Fallen Empire. Grade 10 materials are on Iokath, and Grade 11 materials, the newest ones, are on Onderon and Mek-Sha. Even lower level materials can sell fairly well on the GTN because other players buy them to craft decorations, low level gear, cosmetic gear, dyes, and crystals. If you're running into other players who are gathering, you can try switching instances by opening your map and selecting another instance from the drop-down on the bottom right. If you're looking for something to start gathering to sell with your companions, I recommend the lowest level Grade 1 materials except for the red, blue, and green colored crystals. If you're looking to gather stuff off of the ground, I would go to the highest planet and grade you have available to your account. Between Heroics, Flashpoints, Conquest, and Gathering, there are some pretty solid ways to earn credits. However, players that are billionaires most often do something known as playing the GTN. This is when players carefully watch the GTN and the market and buy and sell items based on what they've seen, instead of earning credits directly through quests or content in the game. A simple example of playing the GTN might include watching for players posting items at low prices, buying them, and reselling them at a normal price for a quick profit. These types of credit-making tactics require two things: knowledge of the average prices of items, and patience to make credits over time. Items that players flip are usually cartel pack items, including armors, weapons, mounts, emotes, color crystals, and decorations, and then also companion gifts and crafting materials on the side. Players usually pick 1 or 2 areas of expertise and focus on them, so they can get familiar with the prices and the market. One easy way to start flipping items is by noticing when players accidentally sell their items for the default price set by the GTN instead of a custom set price. For example, you may see a companion gift is being sold for 8,000 credits when the next highest one is being sold for 100,000 credits. You buy this item, get it from your mailbox, then resell it at the higher price for easy profit. Number 9. Crafting. Players often also combine playing the GTN with high-level crafting. The most common items to be crafted seem to be augment kits, augments, and stims, rather than gear, as the crafting path to be able to craft gear is very steep and expensive, whereas the path to earn gear is the easiest it's ever been in any expansion. Knowing what to craft involves finding that niche where you can unlock the gold crafting schematics, then acquire the crafting materials for cheaper than you can sell what you craft. And this is something you'll need to figure out for yourself based on the price of materials, finished items, and their supply and demand on your particular server. Just to unlock the ability to craft high-level items costs 500,000 credits, and reverse engineering so you can get the gold schematics will likely cost you millions. So crafting is not for the faint of heart, and it's also how players are able to make millions of credits in profit. You can also find yourself a niche within low-level crafting and charging exorbitant prices to players who have lots of credits to gear up their low-level characters. Other crafting niches include cosmetic armor, dyes, crystals, and decorations. Whether you can take advantage of these niches depend on the supply and demand of your server, which you can find out by watching the GTN over time for both pricing of the finished item, pricing of the materials, and general availability. If you want in on the crafting game, but figuring out what to craft seems like way too much of a hassle and investment, you can instead gather materials and sell them to the players who are crafting. And number 10, Cartel Coins. Subscribers get 500 Cartel Coins per month, and everyone can get an extra 100 Cartel Coins per month for free if they use a security key on their phone. If you're a subscriber, you might want to convert these Cartel Coins to credits. To do so, you buy an item from the Cartel Market for Cartel Coins, wait for the timer to wear off in your inventory, then put the item up for sale on the GTN. The hard part is picking what item to get. You have two options: buying and selling a tried and true cartel item, or taking a gamble on something less proven. The first option is very easy. Good, easy items to resell include the Master's Datacron, Commander's Token, Hyper Crates, and Black dies. Just make sure to check the GTN for the credit value of the item before buying it. To find out what item will get you the best value, look up its lowest price on the GTN. Then divide that big credit number by the number of Cartel Coins it costs. That'll give you your credits to Cartel Coin ratio. Just keep in mind, prices on the GTN fluctuate and it may be harder to sell some items than others, but those 4 are pretty easy to sell no matter what. The second option requires a little more thought. Other items, like armors, weapons, decoration bundles, might be worth more, but their price fluctuates more, and you may have a harder time selling them. One thing to look into is whatever's on the front page of the Cartel Market, which shows items that are only available on the market for a limited time on sale. Some of these are complete garbage deals, while others might be in scarce supply on the GTN as they haven't been sold on the market for a while. You'll have to decide if you want to take the risk for a bigger profit or instead buy and sell those trusted items mentioned earlier. And that covers everything I know about making credits in Star Wars The Old Republic. Some things that did not make the cut were PvP does not seem to currently be a good credit maker. Operations will give you quite a few credits, but not a lot of credits per hour just because how long they take, and a lot of the dailies didn't have a good ratio either. Complete your conquest every week for some easy pile of credits and crafting materials. If you're looking for something easy to do heroics and make sure to do the fast ones. If you have a max geared out stealth character, jump into Master Mode Flashpoints for a quick route to credits through gear. Turn in your Jawa Junk and tech fragments for materials you can sell onto GTN. And lastly, learn how to play the market and craft if you want to join the big leagues. I hope this video helped to point you in the right direction of making at least 1 million credits per hour, whichever one of the routes you'd like to pick. And as always, may the GTN be with you.